Hi folks, Darren here. Welcome back to the Gear Hangout. Now today I got to be really quick because I'm cooking my tea and I'm in my kitchen. If you haven't seen on my Instagram already, I am upgrading my Telecaster Partscaster thing that I had from eBay from a company called RKGuitars77. It's fantastic, it's really cool, but it does need some tweaking, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a bash. First of all, you're the tones as it is now. Okay, now you have heard those tones. Here's what I'm doing to the Telecaster. Fender road-worn tuners. I've got Wilkinson bridge saddles, brass ones because you need those for a Fender Telecaster or a Tele. Fender Deluxe Drive Telecaster pickups. I've never actually heard of these. hadn't heard of them until a few days ago. But there's the blurb on everything. You can pause it there if you want to see what the output and all that is on them. But I'm going to give them a go. Old Faithful, regular Slinkies. Just can't beat these, man. I've tried other strings. I just keep going back to them, you know. So, and I've stolen a few sanding blocks from my partner because there's a dodgy fret. I'm not doing a professional job. I'm just trying to make it more comfortable for me to play. So, yeah, I need to go to my dad's to borrow a drill to drill the holes for the tuner pegs because they're different hole placement than these on the current tuners. And then I'm going to do some tone demos. I may not get it all done tonight, but I'll edit it all together. You're not going to know anyway. But yeah, for now, I'm going to go and stir that mac and cheese, and then I'm going to go and sort out the hot wings. Then I'm going to go to my dad's to borrow a drill because I'm not a grown-up because I don't own a drill.
The next day.
Okay, so a little bit of a disclaimer. I cheated a little bit. I could not complete the wiring on this guitar myself. There is a really bad, crappy import switch on it, and I just couldn't wire it up. I couldn't work it out. So I gave it to my guy. He sorted it out. A couple of hours, I had it back, and it works fine. There is still a bit of a grounding issue, but it's not a problem because I use wireless 90% of the time anyway. So I'll get that fixed next week. I'll send it back to him to sort the grounding issue out. Other than that, it does sound great. These are the Fender Deluxe Drive pickups, made in Mexico. As you heard there, they sound really, really good. Quite different from the pickups that were in there originally as well. Another thing, the tuners on this, I'll show it on this camera here. The tuners on this are the original tuners that came with the guitar. Really bad tuners, but the wear looks great on them. The reason for that is I didn't take into account the size of the post and the size of the bushings when I bought the tuners that I did, the Fender Road one tuners. So I've got a set of bushings on the way, conversion bushings. And next week then I'll change the tuners. But for now, they do the job. It stays in tune, absolutely fine. So a little bit more about this guitar. This was one I had on eBay from a company called RKGuitars77. He has a store and an Instagram. I will put them in the description. It's a semi-hollow body, really, really thin nitro finish, but the wear job he's done on it is absolutely phenomenal, if you ask me. I think the wear is absolutely fantastic. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I've got the Wilkinson compensated brass saddles on here as well. Done those myself. The only thing I didn't do is the wiring, but in all fairness, Jason did restring it for me and give it a setup so I can go up and gig it. I did have to sand the neck down a little bit. Just there were a couple of frets that were quite sharp, but again, I did that myself. The rest, the frets generally are fine. They're not scratchy. That's just general, you know, they're not too scratchy. But yeah, it's a great guitar. The neck is lovely on it. Plays nice, and now it sounds, I feel, better than it did previously. So now I've got to go and learn some songs for my shows this weekend with the band, and yeah, it's going to be fun. 48 hours to learn a few songs. I think I can do that. Ultimately, I'm really, really happy with the way this was anyway. I just wanted it to be, I don't know, a bit better. I don't know, I can't explain it. I wanted to upgrade it for a while, and I just took the plunge on actually doing it to make it a little bit more what I wanted out of the guitar, you know? Better intonation with the compensated saddles. Sound wasn't much of an issue before, but I found the pickups were quite microphonic. I did use them on a rather big stage, and even at low gains, they were feeding back quite heavily, so I thought, yeah, I'll change the pickups. But in here in the studio, they sounded absolutely fine. Tuners, these are stiff as hell. They're a lot of crap. So yeah, those Fender Road 1 tuners will go on it very, very soon. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the sound of the pickups, the comparisons, and the sounds themselves. Maybe grab yourself a set if they're your thing. I will need to get another switch, actually. I no longer trust this switch after the crap I had with it. But yeah, I love it. No name on headstock. And I think I'll keep it that way. It's just a really, really cool looking and feeling and now sounding guitar. Anyway, folks, I will see you again very soon at the Gear Hangout. Bye!